If it's Tuesday, that means it's the Apex Energy Summer Series presented by Boone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram from Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, alongside in the booth Chris Smith tonight. We're bringing you live racing action in the NASCAR Gen 6 cars from Charlotte for the Boone CDJR 175. NASCAR has been racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway since its inception in the early 1960s. Once adorned with rugged rocks and boulders, this sprawling 550-acre property, originally owned by North Carolina's first governor, also welcomed the presence of George Washington nearly 250 years ago. The track itself was meticulously designed and constructed by the dynamic duo of Bruton Smith and Curtis Turner. Turner, who was a renowned figure of his time as a moonshiner, had speed and handling at the forefront of his mind when conceiving this intermediate mile-and-a-half track featuring corners steeply banked at 24 degrees. Furthermore, the duo envisioned it as an ultimate test of endurance for both drivers and their machines, even playing host to the very first 600-mile race for stock cars. Chris, this was a track that almost never was. After opening in 1960, the owners discovered massive amounts of granite needed to be removed, which was an expensive process in the time. As a result, it ran out of money less than a year later and had to declare bankruptcy. Fortunately for us, track owners were able to quickly work to raise the money needed to keep the speedway open and make it into what it has become today. Chris, what are these drivers going to have to do in order to make sure they don't go bankrupt on the opening race tonight and make it to the finish up front?
Well, Ellis, it's hard to imagine a NASCAR world without Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is one of the crown jewels of the NASCAR Cup Series circuit, and it's going to be a crown jewel for our Slingshot drivers tonight, being the opening race of the season. One thing that they're going to have to do, and we're going to talk about it in our stories tonight, is with these Gen 6 Cup cars, aero push is going to be a big story tonight. Also, tire wear is going to be a big story, but we're going to get to that here in just a little bit. We got 117 laps around here tonight, a big 39-car field here tonight. A lot of drivers showing up to the opening race of the season, and you see that last sort of story right there. High tire degradation expected. We're going to expect to see a lot of tire wear tonight, and the drivers who are able to hold on to their tires over the course of a long run are going to be very, very successful tonight.
Chris, you mentioned stories. We're going to have plenty of stories to set up the race for fans watching live on YouTube. We appreciate all of our viewers who've joined so far, including Alan's Art Images, John Rapp, Connor Lines. Shout out to Court, as well as Chris DeWeese and How Fit and Brendan Garvey in the chat. They know what's coming up next. It's a Slingshot fan favorite pre-race tradition, the playing of the national anthem, and then we'll be back on the other end of the anthem. Stay tuned. You're looking live at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Welcome to Slingshot Racing League Season 7, the Apex Energy Summer Series, presented by Boone, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I'm Alice Thomas, joined by Chris Smith in the booth. Welcome, everybody. We're going to set up the race for you with some stories to follow, Chris. This is the season opener here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 8-race stretch coming up this summer. Tires are going to be a premium this season, Chris, including tonight. Drivers are going to have to save those tire sets. They've only got 3. How's that going to shape the complexion of this race?
They've only got 3, and from everything that we saw Sunday night in the practice race, these tires are going to be giving up. So not only do they have one less set of tires, but they're going to have to manage throughout the course of the entire run. And also, there's a lot of decision-making that goes on to when you take those tires. Do you take them when you get in your window, or do you maybe hold on to a set thinking, hey, we might get a late caution maybe with 20 or less to go? And, I mean, you can fire up through the field really, really fast. So tires are going to be probably the premium story tonight, followed by this second story.
Aero push. We noticed in the practice race, Chris, that it can be difficult to pass. You can make a wall of air in front of you and behind your car, making it difficult for that car to pass behind you. How exactly does that work?
Well, with these cars, with these Gen 6 cars on these mile and a halfs, the blade, the rear spoiler on the back of them is so huge, and you're spending so much time on throttle with this mile and a half package that it just creates a huge, sort of like an aero wash effect, almost like Indy cars have on an oval. And it creates, for a very difficult time being able to pass somebody if you're following in their tire tracks. So one thing I think is going to be a positive for this is that I think we'll see some drivers running different lanes to try to be able to, get some clean air on their nose. And when drivers are running different lines, I think that's going to make for some multi-groove racing out here tonight.
And speaking of different lines and multiple grooves, Chris, we saw 4 wide in a practice race on Sunday night in these cars at this track. So we're bound to see some action. And the double-edged sword, right? You're going to get some action, some great passing, but with that comes the danger of a potential crash, bringing us under caution. Do you look to see a lot of cautions tonight?
I think it's a possibility. I think that we'll see early cautions, and then I think that we'll go through a stretch where, we might get strung out. Before we had our late caution on Sunday night, there was a lot of green flag racing going on. Now, obviously, we're adding probably about 20 cars, 30 cars to the field based upon what we had on Sunday night in the practice race. But I think that it does present the opportunity for possible a lot of crashing going on. But I think that it also means that we're going to see a lot of great action tonight.
Yeah, and great action. We've got great drivers out here. We've got 4 former Slingshot champions all in the race tonight, and over the course of the season, we'll see them. We've got Justin Wilson, we've got Braxton DeWeese, we've got Johnny Rapp, and we've got the most recent champion, Aaron Smith. Chris, this is a stout field of drivers, and I think we're going to see the results of that tonight on track with a lot of great racing going on. Speaking of great things, this season and every single season we've had in Slingshot Racing League is brought to you by Apex Energy, Chris. Exciting news on that front. They've just recently launched 2 new products, Ice Bomb flavor and grape flavor Apex Energy. You can see we've got a game. You can win big simply by playing a guessing game every single week. If you use that QR code on the screen, we've got the flavor fight going on. You'll essentially choose your flavor over a series of 5 questions, whether you think it's going to be Team Grape runs higher in the race than Team Ice Bomb. Every driver's been assigned to either Team Grape or Team Ice Bomb. Kind of a cool thing we've been doing this season. A lot of drivers have logos on their car. Over the course of the race, we'll change the ticker to reflect what driver is on each team, either Grape or Ice Bomb. But you can go ahead and now use that QR code. There's also a link in the video description to vote, and each correct guess gets you an entry into our season-ending giveaway, $50 cash for literally a total of probably 6 minutes of your time over the course of 8 weeks. A minute a race. Not a big deal. Check out apexenergydrink.com for those new flavors, Chris. I'm drinking grape right now, and I think that's the better flavor. They're both great, but I'm a grape man myself, and hopefully it gives me the energy to make it to lap 117 tonight. Lord knows the drivers are going to need it. So the 2 head-to-head drivers is Johnny Rapp for Team Grape and Patrick Colby for Team Ice Bomb. When you get to that question, you'll know what I'm talking about. Chris, It's time, though. We've got to set the starting grid from Evan Pienta Designs. The Pole Award winner tonight is Scotty Sobczak. Starting second is going to be Johnny Rapp. Starting third on the inside of row 2, former Slingshot champion Aaron Smith. Starting fourth is going to be Landon Chardulo, followed by Randy Bechtel starting fifth. Braxton DeWeese in the number 5 is going to be starting in the 6th position, with Jacob Zala and Josh Ward in 7th and 8th. Logan Truitt's going to be starting 9th, followed by Patrick Pieper. I know we've got some Pieper fans in the chat tonight. Chase Berry and Evan Pienta will be starting on row 6 in 11th and 12th place, respectively. Daniel Blow will be starting 13th, with Matt Kuntz, who I think's got some fans watching the chat, starting in that 14th slot tonight. Scott Tompkins starting 15th. Brandon Ayre is going to be gritting up in that number 16 in the 16th position. Robert Hattenback going to be starting 17th in that number 3 car. Sam Stoner going to be starting 18th in the 65. Ryan Hinkle in a new paint scheme starting 19th tonight. Kyle Ryan, Slingshot newcomer, going to be starting 20th. Alex Harper going to be starting 21st in the number 10 car, followed by Dan Berg in a new number this season, number 1. Matt Scherf, I know we got some Scherf fans watching in the chat right now. He'll be taking that 4 car to the front from 23rd position tonight, followed by James Danforth, Chris, who we know is a hard charger who works his way through the field every single week, starting in 24th. Alberto Alvarez will be starting 25th, and the rest of the starting grid is going to scroll across the screen as we bring in a driver to be interviewed here on the pace laps. It's actually the driver driving the Boone CDJR car tonight, and that is Josh Ward. We'll go ahead and try to get him pulled in here. Hey, Josh Ward in the number 92 Boone CDJR car. This is the boys up in the booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, man, you got a good-looking paint scheme out there tonight. We're excited for this race as y'all are working your way around on these pace laps. Got a pretty good starting position, starting to 8th tonight inside the top 10. What's it going to take to get that car up front by the end of the evening?
My goal is really just to get at least a top 5, hopefully. I don't think I have the speed to win this thing, but try to get a top 5 and just be very patient. The right front's going to really burn off of these cars, so I think it's going to be a fight for the top, and drivers are just going to clog up the top lane, and nobody's going to be able to pass. So it's probably going to get aggressive, but hopefully we can get some long green runs and, save the right front tire and save a set for the end and go forward.
How optimistic are you about that inside line?
On the first 5 laps, very. But okay. I think the outside, once you get a car up there, it's just going to be really, really hard to pass. But if we can get some green flat stops here, I think we'll have some guys on new tires, old tires. It should make things pretty interesting.
Hey, man, well, we are looking forward to it. Hey, I noticed you're in that Boone CDJR paint scheme. You guys have partnered with us this season. Tell us a little bit about it before we let you go get off to the races here.
Yes, sir. I work with Boone CDJR, and they are offering wholesale discounts to anybody in Slingshot or anybody watching. Just, reach out personally, and it's a really good company. They do a lot for me, and just trying to help them out a lot. So we appreciate you guys taking us on, and we're proud to be here.
Absolutely, man. Good luck out there, Josh Ward, the number 92 car. We'll watch you throughout the race.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard the driver of that number 92 talking about how important the top was going to be, but be on the lookout for the first 5 laps, he says, for the inside line, Chris. I think we're going to have something to keep our eyes on. Right now, I believe the pace car is going to peel off. We get ready to start season number 7 of Slingshot Racing League. Scotty Sobczak and John Rapp leading them down to the line. Flagman waves the flag. We are underway. John Rapp gets a pretty good start on that outside. Scotty Sobczak gets through the gears pretty quickly. Both drivers lead the field down into turns 1 and 2. Sobczak on the inside has the better approach through the corner, but Rapp hangs tough on the outside. He's not going anywhere. He wants that lead as drivers shuffle down the backstretch down into turn 3. That's Landon Chardulo on the outside in that number 19. Gets a little bit of contact with the wall there, has to lift out of the throttle. It's a drag race right now down the front straightaway. Rapp and Sobczak dead even. I believe that lap was scored for Scotty Sobczak, Chris.
It was just barely, and you saw Landon Chardulo right there in turns 3 and 4. I think that was that aero wash that we talked about before, how that car just took off up the hill. You know, when you've got clean air on the nose, you can run a lot. Oh, as he runs up on the back of Aaron Smith here. You can run just so much harder on entry to the corners versus if you are in traffic. And the guys that are back here, probably about 7th or 8th on back, they are in a lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic indeed. They work their way down into turn 1. Randy Bechtel, the red and white car on the inside of that other red and white car of Chardulo. Bechtel on the inside. They come off the corner. Chardulo gets the run, but right behind them, Braxton DeWeese working to the outside of the 20 of Jacob Zala, headed down into turn 3. DeWeese is slowly working his way through the field. He started 6th. He's trying to pick up another spot up to 5th position here. He'll have to wait at least another lap before it happens. But Chris, check out this battle between the 19 and the 81 for 3rd position right now. Chardulo not letting go of the grasp on that 3rd position.
No, he's not. And right now, I think that, you know, this is your best opportunity to pass. So that's why we're seeing drivers a little bit more aggressive, wanting to get around people because they want to have as much clean air as they can possibly have on their noses as this race goes on right here. You know, that they recognize that as their ability to be able to save as much tire as you can. Back here in about the 8th position, Josh Ward is the first one up on the top. Looks like Braxton DeWeese is going to try to jump up in front of him. And Josh Ward, you heard him talk about, he's not going to be afraid to run up high tonight. I think he's really looking forward to possibly being able to get up there. And he's got some clean air on the front of that Boone car right now.
Yeah, one of the first cars to jump up to that outside, the driver, the number 92, Josh Ward. He's picked up at least one position from that strategy. Right now, most drivers working the inside, though. We see the 92 of Ward slide up in the middle to try to defend against the move of that oncoming number 55 of Evan Pienta in that white and navy car as they work their way down the front stretch. Now Zala's got Evan Pienta to his outside, Chris, but as we mentioned that, there is a pass for the lead, and I say that, Johnny Rapp's going to fight back to the outside of Aaron Smith, who had made that move down into turn number 1 to take the lead, but now they're side by side, headed down into 3 and out of 4.
They are, and as you mentioned Evan Pienta, we're going to bring up the Evan Pienta pulse check right now, and oh my gosh, he's at 118. So you see how intense it is in the middle of the pack right here as Aaron Smith is trying to make this pass right here on Johnny Rapp. These drivers don't want to give up the lead. They want to try to keep the clean air on that nose, try to save as much right front tire as they possibly can. Rapp is going to battle back on the outside.
Rapp is going to battle back indeed, Chris. Great racing going on the track right now. Again, Evan Pienta wearing a heart rate monitor. This is exclusive technology where we're monitoring Evan Pienta's heart rate, and that's a pretty good barometer of what's going on the racetrack as a whole, especially in a close race like this where there aren't much gaps between the cars, Chris. Now he was at 125. He's kind of calmed down to 107 at the moment, but hey, Chris, we got our first pronunciation correction.
Yeah.
We were waiting for it. It's Cardulo, Landon Cardulo. We were close. We did our best. Thanks for the catch there, Jay Zala, and I hope we're pronouncing that last name correctly as well. I'm sure, Jay, let us know if we're not. We want to make sure we get it right. But hey, if you're in the chat right now as we watch this exciting racing, we're giving away a Harrison Burton 21 Motorcraft 1/64th scale diecast tonight. Simply, if you say hi in the chat, you're entered in to win that. We'll do a drawing later on in the race and give it away to a random fan simply by saying hello in the chat. Let us know you're here. Let us know what driver you're rooting for. We're excited to bring this live racing action to you every single Tuesday night. Your fans are the ones who make it possible. As you ride on board here with Patrick Pieper in that hot dog mobile, Chris, great view on board seeing what these drivers are dealing with.
And you see he's got a tight battle going on behind him. We've got Scott Tompkins right there in that 25 and Daniel Blow on his outside in that 17. Tompkins repping the colors of Pierce Graphics this season right here. So he's looking to see if he can get that Chevrolet up here into the top 10.
And that is going to be a difficult paint scheme for me to remember. Scott Tompkins in that white and blue scheme with the Pierce Graphics V on the hood. But right now, Scott Tompkins running in the 13th position after starting 15th. So couple positions up on the evening. I think he'll be okay with that early into this race, Chris. This battle at the front, though, between Smith and Rapp has continued to fester here for a while as they head down into turn number 3. Smith's got the better of it at this point as Johnny Rapp slides back into second. He's got Scotty Sobczak behind him, but that battle for 4th, Chris, is also heated up. We've seen Josh Ward He's gotten up through the gears. That car is firing on all cylinders as he bolts up into the 4th position in that Boone CDJR. Oh, he's got the 20 of Jacob Zala on the inside. Daring move from the driver of the 20 to make that pass for the 4th position. Kind of took the 92 by surprise maybe a little bit there with that push down into the corner.
It wasn't. I think we have some contact back here. I could hear it between... I think it was around Evan Pienta. There was some contact between Zala and Ward.
Evan Pienta and the 19 of Chardulo in the wall. Big crash down the front straightaway. Will drivers be able to stay out of trouble? It looks like for the better part of the field, they're going to make it through it, but that is not without some heavy casualties of war down the front straightaway, Chris. You called it as soon as it happened.
Yeah, we're going to go back right here. I think that maybe there was some more contact. Daniel Blow is like he's got a lot of damage to the right front of that number 17 Chevrolet.
And look at that heart rate up at the top right of the screen, all the way up to 130 at the peak of that crash, Chris. Evan Pienta involved in that crash, but I think he's going to make it through it, settling into 5th right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened down the front straightaway.
Yeah, and I think that Evan was in the midst of it. I don't know if he was, necessarily the cause of it, but I think he was in the middle of it. We're going to go back right here, and we're going to see if we can find...
Arrow push, Chris, on the 20. We talked about that being the danger. Yeah. I think the same thing might have happened to the 19 of Landon Cardulo off the turn 4. He wasn't the only driver who had those issues, but Zala and Cardulo push up off the corner, and it was off to the races from there. Braxton DeWeese walks away with some damage from that crash. Not sure how heavy that's going to be. It looks like he might be okay.
Oh, yeah, some big contact right there for Logan Truitt.
Oh, the 2 of Truitt into the wall.
It's like Scott
Sam
Tompkins
Stoner
as
made
well.
it through it. Scott Tompkins, Patrick Pieper involved in that. Matt Scherf got some damage as well. Most of the field walking their way through. I think we'll have to probably go back and take a look at, some of the drivers. Maybe a little bit of excessive speed through there, but our race controller, Eagle Eye in the sky, Robert, was looking into that, I'm sure. But yeah, that just started with Arrow Push, Chris. It's something we talked about in the pre-race stories, and here we are on lap number 15 of 117 in the Boone CDJR 175, and we've already seen it causing some problems here with this lap number 14 caution. Pace cars bringing them around. Johnny Rapp is currently scored as your leader, making that pass right before that incident, Chris. Aaron Smith going to be 2nd. Scotty Sobczak 3rd. Jacob Zala 4th. Josh Ward going to be scored, final car in the top 5. Are we going to see a tire change here, Chris?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think it's just way too early, and I suspect that we'll see all drivers stay on track. With only having 2 sets to change, lap 15 right here, everybody stays out. In fact, they're probably relieved to have a caution because that just means that, there's less laps on these tires and they don't have to do as much conserving as what they, possibly might have to do.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of conserving, we've got to be conservative, get some of our breaks in here early. We're going to hit up a 60-second ad break to hear from some of our partners. We'll be back on the other end of this break. You're not going to miss a moment of green flag action.
Hey guys, it's Josh Ward for Brand Commercial, and this season we're partnering with Slingshot Racing League to make sure our members can get wholesale manufacturer pricing on any Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram you choose. Whether you're just looking for a vehicle for your family or for your business, we've got you covered. Contact me directly to see how we can help.
Tired of generic trophies that gather dust? UD Awards creates custom trophies that become the highlight of your league ceremony. We worked with them to design these stunning pieces, from brainstorming ideas to holding the finished product. Don't worry, if you're not the artistic type, UD Awards has a massive catalog of unique designs and all sorts of materials, from classic wood to sleek acrylic or dramatic metal. And the best part? They're surprisingly affordable. Don't settle for ordinary. Make your next award ceremony extraordinary with UD Awards. All right, folks, we promise you wouldn't miss a moment of the action here. We're about to go green, setting it up. Johnny Rapp is elected to go to the outside for this restart. That is his prerogative as the leader. That's going to leave Aaron Smith in that neon yellow number 70 to the inside. Hey, if you liked what you've been seeing so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out tremendously. Speaking of helping us out tremendously, the pace car helps the drivers out. He peels off on a pit road. Johnny Rapp's going to lead him down. We are once again under green flag conditions here at Charlotte. Great restart for the driver, the number 52, Johnny Rapp. Aaron Smith slots in second. Scotty Saab's at third. Josh Ward up to fourth. The battle is for fifth. Braxton DeWeese looks like he comes out of that crash with damage that does not affect the handling of that race car because he is on a tear up to the fifth position, Chris. Aaron Smith down, pushes for the lead into turn number 3. Side by side, neck and neck, they come out of turn 4, down the front straightaway to the start-finish line. Johnny Rapp to the outside. Aaron Smith's going to lead that line despite Rapp's best effort. He's going to try again down into turn 1. Different approaches, Chris, on this restart. A couple of cars to the outside. You see a majority of drivers working that inside line right now, though.
It is, but I think that as this goes on, as you heard Josh Ward talk about, as we get some laps on these tires and you have more off-throttle time, I think, and you can see Ryan Hinkle back here. He is digging on that top, trying to get to the outside of it. Oh, a lot of cars make contact with the outside wall.
Oh, there's Sam Stoner right behind him. But yeah, commentator's curse, Chris. We talked about Aero Bush playing a role early. Ryan Hinkle on a tear up through the field. He's going to have to worry about the 24 of Kyle Ryan there, who gets some push as well. Side by side, Chris, this is a battle going on for the 11th position. Drivers trying to claw their way into the top 10. Kyle Ryan in that 24 car working his way underneath Rye Jones, who's up 23 positions on the night, Chris. That number 91 is on the move after starting to the back of the field. Crosses the line in 12th position. Kudos to the driver, that number 91. He is looking to move to the front early tonight. He's going to have to get through Justin Wilson and Rob Hattenback after he gets through Rye Hinkle here, though. Close racing going on down the backstretch, Chris. I don't know what battle to focus on because it's 2 by 2 by 2, 3 or 4 rows deep.
It's total insanity out here, but our drivers are doing a really great job right here. You got Evan Pienta still digging up on that top right there. See how close the drivers are still running together.
Man.
And I think that this is going to be like we're going to see a lot of this tonight. And I'll be curious to see if it stays like this, even 15. Oh, some contact. Heading back into the back of Pienta right there.
Yeah, hey, can we do an on-board with the driver of that number 3 Hattenback and see what the view out of the front window looks like on these things? Because it is getting crazy out there.
It is. We will ride on board, and we'll actually give you a little bit of the holo cam look right here, riding on board with Robert Hattenback.
And
current
you can
speed
see
right
here,
there.
Yeah, look at the roll speed. That's one of the coolest tools we have to look at how a driver compares to the drivers they're racing through the corner, seeing how much faster they're rolling through the corner, because that's going to make a difference in their ability to pass. And you can see Hattenback gets a little bit better corner than Justin Wilson there. He's able to clear him. He almost runs into the back of the 55, though. With all that speed he carries off at turn 2, Evan Pienta is going to jump up in front of him, Chris, and I'm starting to see these cars push even more.
Yeah, you definitely see it right there, just riding on board with Hattenback. As we got Justin Wilson looking his inside. We didn't get a chance to talk about it before in the pre-race, but Justin Wilson started in 29th position. Not sure if he had trouble in his qualifying lap or just elected not to make a qualifying run. But here he is. He is up 20 positions since the start of the race, climbing his way. One of our defending champions climbing his way up into the top 10 now.
Yeah, that 58 of Justin Wilson's got a lot of speed early on in this race, Chris. Couple of cars involved in that incident earlier on. Jacob Zala, Braxton DeWeese, they've carried on just fine, as has also Josh Ward in that number 92 car. So several drivers, early incidents, but they're fighting along here inside the top 10. Man, I hate to say it. I need to knock on some wood on my desk here, Chris, but I'm surprised we haven't seen more contact and incidents than we have early on by lap number 24. Coming to lap 25 here of 117. We're approaching that quarter distance here of the 175 miles we're slated to run tonight here at Charlotte, and the action has not simmered down at all. Aaron Smith is your leader. He's got Braxton DeWeese in second, Sobzak in third. But Chris, check out this battle between Zala and Ward for the 4th position. This is one that originally resulted in a caution on lap number 14. We'll see if they can make it a little bit cleaner this time by.
Yeah, and I think that, early on right here, I think Jacob Zala has probably learned, he learned a lesson right there on the initial caution right there about how much these things can push when you get right up behind somebody. Especially, I think that the trouble spot is definitely down in turns 3 and 4. I think that's where it's tighter than anywhere else. That's what we saw on Sunday night, as we've got, Justin Wilson all over the back bumper of Johnny Rapp. It's actually, you can see Wilson get a little bit loose right there. Johnny Rapp backing up just a little bit. He was battling for the lead with Aaron Smith, and now he is back to the battling for the 8th position with Rye Jones.
Yeah, that's something I'm a little bit surprised to see out of driver number 52. We're used to seeing him take it easy on those tires. One of the better drivers at tire saving in Slingshot Racing League. Hasn't really seen that advantage tonight that we would have expected. Aaron Smith, meanwhile, up at the front with Braxton DeWeese. But if you're Johnny Rapp, man, I would not want to be in this hornet's nest that's snaking its way down the back straightaway right now. Looks like it's beginning to thin out. But Ryan Hinkle's still trying to forge ahead on that outside, as is Jacob Sala right in front of him. And we've seen Ryan Hinkle making some moves on that outside, Chris. He started 19th. He's working his way to the 11th position right now. So driver number 19, new paint scheme, not that orange Mountain Dew live wire scheme we grew accustomed to seeing last season. But hey, it's just as fast this season, trying to work his way into the top 10. Driver the number 99, X-Side, little Jeff Burton throwback scheme there, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of a, it's not the exact same throwback, but it's the same colors as those late 90s X-Side paint scheme that you saw Jeff Burton run. We get really, really close up ahead.
Gosh. This is making me nervous. I feel like I just need to take a breath for a second. And look at that heart rate, Chris. Evan Pienta's heart rate, top right of the screen. We're up close to 120 right now, as he's right in the thick of this. He exceeds 120, up to 125. It is getting dicey.
Some contact.
I told you, Ward and DeWeese get a little bit of contact, get a little too comfortable there with each other, headed down into turn 3. Both drivers show a little bit of discretion, though, lifting off the throttle. They're going to live to fight another day right in front of Evan Pienta, and that heart rate monitor suggests that did not go unnoticed for the driver, that number 55, as he's looking out from that windshield.
Yeah, and you see Josh Ward right there roll the top right there. He's going to have a good push right here coming off the second corner, as you see these drivers get lined up on the top. And look at Braxton DeWeese drop back.
Kyle Ryan has to, sorry to interrupt. I thought we were going to have a car in the wall. Kyle Ryan got a little bit of contact with 3, Rob Hatton back there. And hell of a save by the 24, Kyle Ryan. Sorry, Chris, to interrupt.
No, that's all good. And I think that what we're starting to see right here is, these front maybe 10, they're super, super close together, but starting to see a little bit of separation, and I think that's a really good thing for the sake of these cars and for the sake of this field right here. We want to see a bunch of them running at the end. We're starting to see it get a little bit more single file, not quite that double file action that we saw before. But when they're single file in the straightaway, you might see them start to fan out in the corner, as Jacob Zala in the wall, Johnny Rapp in the wall possibly as well back there. We're going to see them fan out here in the corners. Watch them down here on this end. You see Evan Pienta up high, Jacob Zala up high, Robert Hatton back up high. These guys are trying to get some clean air on the noses of their cars to help them turn.
They are doing the best they can. We mentioned clean air being a premium tonight in pre-race, Chris. We've seen that, and we see a lot of drivers working their way up to the high line. And that strategy is kind of shifting now. You've got drivers kind of choosing between the top and the bottom, and it looks like it's about 50-50 at this point, at least around 8th, 9th, 10th position. You mentioned things are thinning out just a little bit. Randy Bechtel started in the 5th position, Chris. He's dropped back to 11th, driving 51 right now, working on the inside of Rob Hatback. Kyle Ryan also going on the outside. Looks like driver 51, Randy Bechtel, having a little bit of issues with tires now on lap 33 of 117. Starting to feel it on that inside line, Chris.
Yeah, Randy's got some damage on the right rear. I'm not sure if that's just on my end, like a graphical glitch of some kind, or if he has made some contact with somebody or some contact with the wall, but have to wonder if that maybe is hurting the performance of that number 51 Toyota.
Yeah, I think you might be right. A little bit crippled there from that. I don't know if it was from that lap 14 crash or maybe a little bit of contact under green flag conditions.
So we see some really, really close racing right here between Johnny Rapp and Jacob Zala. And look how close they are still, like, in this top 15. They're still just, neck and neck right here all throughout the top 15.
And what it's allowed to do is it's allowed drivers who were not quite in that pack a few minutes ago, about 5 laps ago, to work their way up to it. One of those drivers I have in mind is the 17th place runner right now, the 9 of Patrick Colby in that gray and red machine. He's running right now in the 17th position, but he has caught the top 15 here in the last 5 laps because of the heavy racing going on. And they're just doing what they got to do out there. Patrick Colby, that driver out of New Hampshire, slingshot winner a couple of times over, looking to see if he can work his way closer to that premium first position right now here on lap 36. He's got his eyes on the 29 of Alberto Alvarez. Slingshot newcomer making some waves. Alvarez, Chris, started 25th. He's looking to go back into the 14th position, 11 positions up on the night. Net positive for the driver 29, Alberto Alvarez, out of Miami and Florida, feeling the sunshine vibes right now, even though the moon is out in Charlotte.
Yeah, he's really fast right now, and he's made a nice positive gain right here, up 10 spots, like you said, and looks like he's going for more right here on the outside of Randy Bechtel. You mentioned Randy being committed to that bottom, and he slides up right there. I think that maybe he wanted to get up there possibly, or maybe that was just a push slide. I'm not sure, but we're going to start to see maybe if this outside lane got some drivers up here as well. Robert Hattenback, Johnny Rapp, we kept on talking about the outside before it. Are we going to reach the point where the top is just the way to go, just from the standpoint of you're pushing so much, you're so tight that you got to run up there? It was like Justin Wilson. He's running up there. He's sort of doing that, that sort of late apex from up there. Almost not really diamonding the corner, but, just sort of late apexing it to try to help that thing turn, because looks like they're just getting super, super tight, especially down here on this end in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Justin Wilson, Chris, as we watch Rye Jones back up the field, a little bit loose off of turn 4 there. He's got a hornet's nest behind him. They're going 3 wide, but I was going to mention Justin Wilson. He's one of the fastest cars on the track at this point in that purple and white number 58. He is moving, making some moves through the field late in this run here on lap number 39 of 117. He'll be approaching pit stops in the next 20 to 25 laps or so, Chris, but you mentioned it just a moment ago. Kyle Ryan and Rye Jones, along with Sean Johnson, back here around the 11th, 12th, 13th position. Looks like that field's just kind of trapped underneath the blanket right now. How much does that have to do with the cars in front of them? Is that aero push? Is that everyone just being conservative here? What do you think's going on to keep that pack bunched together?
Yeah, I just think that, with the big pull off of these huge rear spoilers, the lesser horsepower, it just, promotes a little bit more drafting style of racing. The thing that separated this group right here from the group ahead was just they got just a little bit, they had a little bit of a problem as far as, just got some cars jumbled up. Rye Jones, I think, had some trouble off of turn 4. I think they can still catch this pack in front of them, but they got to get it situated fairly quickly. One thing that we saw on Sunday night was that a few cars could get lined up, and they could pull away from another group, and it's almost impossible to catch them. So if I was in that second group, I'd be really worried about this front pack losing touch with them.
I think I'd be worried about a lot more than that front pack, Chris. I think I'd be worried about some of the contact we're seeing. These cars beginning to slide around, move up the track a little bit. It presents a very precarious situation for drivers as they cross the start-finish line to begin lap number 42 here of 117. We're approaching the halfway point, approaching the set of pit stops. And you mentioned these drivers are moving around. They're looking for the best kind of portion of the racetrack to run on, and you mentioned a lot of them are shifting up the top. Randy Bechtel is one of those drivers we felt like was maybe struggling on the bottom, and look, 4, 5, 6 cars out of 7 in this pack have moved up to the top right now as they work their way by Samuel Stoner in the number 65. Sam Stoner, that driver out of Indianapolis. Man, hell of an Indy 500 last week, Chris. Sam Stoner, I wonder if he was there.
Yeah, I don't know if he was or not, but yeah, it was a great race. And, in a way, these cars were kind of, this rules package you see on these cars was kind of, derived from the Indianapolis style of racing that you see with the Indy cars. Brian France watched that Indy 500 that year, before this came out, and he's like, wow, I really like that, and pushed for this type of rules package. And Yeah, we're seeing these cars right here, the result of it.
Yeah, they are having some really tight pack racing here at Charlotte. Hey, Chris, want to shout out, I know we've got some Nick DeCesare fans in the chat right now. Driver 00 sitting in 23rd position. He's up 14 positions on the evening after starting in 37th, working his way by Patrick Pieper right now for the 22nd position. Shout out to all the DeCesare, Very Racing Motorsports fans in the chat right now. Shout out to all the fans in the chat. So many people have chimed in, letting us know who they're rooting for. Don Hilbrins is in the house. It looks like Julie Super High, my mother-in-law Moki's watching. Thank you. Doug Mindorf is back this season. Chris DeWeese, Mark Piquet. I know he's probably going for Derek Piquet, as is Courtney in the chat. Brian Alcorn, I believe, is a Matt Scherf fan. So many fans chiming in. Hey, we want to reward that. We're going to be giving away a 1/64th scale.
Some contact off turn 4. Sean Johnson is going to save it. Yeah, he and Randy Bechtel got together there off of turn 4. A great job by Sean Johnson. That's AstroTurf down there on the inside, so you can, drive through that a little bit easier than you can on the grass. But man, Sean Johnson did a nice job to hang on to that car.
That was a hell of a save. Good catch on that one, Chris, as we watched that Moon Pie car doing his best to stay in the stratosphere. That's a bad space joke. I tried to find a connection there. I know. Just deal with it. But before that happened, I was just saying thank you to our fans. Say hi in the chat. Let us know who you root for. We'll give away a 1/64th scale Harrison Burton Motorcraft diecast as a thank you for watching through all our ads, for our partners who make all this possible. Chris, speaking of ads, we need to take just a brief break to hear from Apex Energy and Martin Sports before we come up to our green flag pit cycle here in the next couple of laps. You'll see it all, green flag, side by side, here on SRL TV. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Hey Slingshot Racing League, Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR on Fox. I hope you're all doing well. You're watching Slingshot Racing League.
All right, we are back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Car off the pace. That's the 40 of Paul Thomas. Not sure what happened to him. Might have gotten the wall off of turn number 1 there. He coasted down to the apron, stays out of trouble. We are still green flag racing here. Thanks for joining us again tonight. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith in the booth. Going to be coming up on a set of green flag pit stops here in the next 15 laps or less. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, Aaron Smith is your leader. He's stretched out by about just a mere 3 car lengths over Scotty Sobczak, Chris. You could throw a blanket on these top 6 cars right now. All the way from Aaron Smith in first to Josh Ward in 6 is about 10 car lengths, as this is looking more like a Daytona race than it is a race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're nearly halfway through this, Chris, and we've only got 1 caution, knock on wood, but right now they are continuing to close up on each other. One of the things we were talking about during the break, lap times. What's going on with lap times, Chris, and what does that tell us about how these cars are handled?
Well, they have fallen off significantly, about 2 seconds. last lap on the track right here, Aaron Smith turned a 32 flat, and his fastest lap is a 29.836. So over 2 seconds of fall off right now in these cars, and that's just a lot of significant right front tire wear with, these high center of the corner speeds with this rules package. That just promotes you staying on the gas longer, and that's what has sort of basically tore through these right front tires.
Yeah, and your approach, if you're in the kind of the cockpit right now, or you're crew chief of one of these drivers, Chris, are you trying to make it halfway? Are you getting that green flag vibe from this race? I talked to drivers in the pre-race. They told me they didn't think it would go green and it wouldn't be a fuel mileage race, but I'm getting the sense that some of these drivers might be trying to make it to lap 68 or so.
Got one on pit road now, Evan Pienta. Yeah, you bring 55.
Up... Yeah. Go ahead.
You brought up the point right here. When you get to that point right here where you feel like you can make it to the end, we actually see some damage on the right side. Not sure if that is, any of the other times you might have hit the wall, because we've seen a lot of contact with the wall, especially down here off of turn 4. But, Evan Pienta, he's wanting to get those tires off, try to make us some track position here.
Yep. That 55, I can tell you, a lap ago, hit the wall coming out of turn 4. So you would be absolutely correct. That might be very well why he's on pit road right now. But, hey, still no takers from that front pack, it doesn't look like. First through fifth, Josh Ward has fallen off a little bit of the trail of those top 5 cars, but it's Smith, Sobczak, DeWeese, Wilson, and Zala then rounding out the top 5. We got a pass for the lead, Chris. Scotty Sobczak goes to the point in that number 81.
He's going to slide.
Mount Auto Supply. He thought about, he pulled it off. Did a slide job there, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit of a slide job right there. And, that's kind of what you have to do maybe at some points. And right here, with as much as we've got left here to go, Aaron Smith's not going to push the issue. But, yeah, a great move by Scotty Sobczak. And if you are Scotty Sobczak or a fan of Scotty, this is good news right here, because this shows right here that he's got the staying power. He has got, really good wear on his right front. And especially considering I don't think that he's been in the lead since maybe the opening stages of the race. He's been in traffic. He's been in a little bit of dirty air. Not a lot of dirty air, but a little bit of dirty air. And that's a good sign right there, because it means that he's got really good long-run pace in that number 81 Pine Mountain Auto Supply Ford.
Hey, speaking of dirty air, Chris, Kyle Ryan back in 13th. He's leading a big pack of cars. It's broken up a little bit here in the last lap or so. I think we're going to see Ryan Jones come down pit road here this lap. He's signaling to the rest of the drivers, that number 91. We've seen him take pit road early in a couple of races, and it actually be beneficial. We see the 6 of Steve Vest, Ryan Hinkle also coming down pit road. 3 cars come down pit road. That's going to break up that pack just a little bit. But you still got Randy Bechtel and Johnny Rapp doing duel as they move down into turn number 1. Rapp on the outside, Randy Bechtel on the inside here, Chris. This is strategies are starting to kind of take shape here as we hit lap number 59, approaching the halfway point in less than 10 laps at this Boone CDJR 175.
Yeah, we see Johnny Rapp slide up just a little bit right there. That's a tight condition right there on that 52, but yeah, I think Randy Bechtel has maybe gotten the handling together on his number 51 Toyota. He's looking a little bit better now. And a guy that's in front of them who I think has saved a lot of tire and is really fast right now is Chase Berry. Look at Berry right there in that number 46 Toyota. He is really, really moving. I saw him in the early stages of this race really content to just ride behind the big pack, right pretty far back from it. He not only caught the pack, but he's driven through a lot of these drivers here.
Chris, I can confirm that car of Chase Berry, the 46, is one of the fastest cars on the track. Really only one car running faster than him, and it's Jacob Zala in the number 20, who seems to have saved some tire on this run as well, trying to pierce his way up through the field, starting with Justin Wilson for the 4th position here as they come out of turn 4. That 20 runs some fast lap times. Look out for the number 20 of Jacob Zala. I know we've got some Zala fans in the chat right now. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know what you think of this race so far. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. All of those things do great work for us, and they don't cost you a dime. They only get your favorite drivers in front of more eyes every week. So thank you for tuning in, watching in the chat here on YouTube. Chris, this is a battle that is intensifying between Braxton DeWeese and Aaron Smith. with Justin Wilson and Zala looking on behind them. A little bit of contact there to the back bumper of the 70 from the hands of the 5 of Braxton DeWeese, who's got a handful of Justin Wilson right now as they shoot their way down into turn number 1.
Justin Wilson is absolutely wearing out the rear bumper of Braxton DeWeese, and I mean, that's just this type of racing with these cars on this type of track. You know, it's a little bit like a plate race in a way. So, you know, you're going to see some bump drafting tonight. Try to keep that momentum up as these drivers are going to lap past one of our Costco machines here. I think that is Alex Harper. He's in the pizza machine. I got to make sure I get my foods correctly right here with Food Court Motorsports.
Yeah, the Costco team, Alex Harper, currently running in 20th position right now. He has come down pit road, I believe. I don't know if that was from an earlier incident or not, Chris, but right now running the 20th for Alex Harper. I think that might have been earlier after that first caution, so he is still yet to come in on this stop. Jacob Zala, though, Chris, working his way underneath the 58. He's got to be careful for that arrow push coming off of turn 4. He's going to have to be out of the throttle. That's going to give it a bit of an advantage to Justin Wilson, that 58. They slide their way across the line. Wilson is going to have the position that lap, but Zala's going to have something to say about it. As they head down into turn 1, you could stick a piece of paper between those cars
it's close,
right
some
now.
contact.
Zala and Wilson make contact as they race their way off of turn 2. Down that backstretch here at Charlotte, Zala's going to think better of it. He's going to slot right in behind the number 58, Chris, and I think we're going to be getting closer and closer to pit stops. Here comes the leader, 81, Scotty Sobczak, hits pit road. Can he get it down to speed, Chris? That was close for driver 81. He also is going to bring another car. I believe that might be Ryan Hinkle. James Danforth also going to be coming in behind those drivers right now. But boy, I would not be surprised if we saw another stop for the 81 for a black flag. We're going to have to wait to hear from race control how that panned out, but that's going to hand the lead over to Aaron Smith. He's got a chain of cars with him cycling through turns 3 and 4 right now.
He's coming this time.
Smith coming this time. Is he going to bring the rest of the leaders with him? A 4-car tandem hits pit road. They do it cleanly. I think Zala might have gotten into the left rear of Justin Wilson. Who's going to win this race off pit road? It might be an eventual race for the lead here on lap 67. Smith, followed by Braxton DeWeese and Jacob Zala, as well as Justin Wilson. Chris, clean pit stops. Talk to me about the importance of a clean pit stop here in the middle of this green flag pit stop cycle for viewers at home.
Well, you know, here in green flag pit stops, a second longer on pit road is a second on the track, and you know that's critical in this type of racing right here. As we watch our current leader Patrick Colby still circulate the racetrack. It's going to be critical in this type of racing right here because you rely on the draft. I mean, typically on a lot of drafting style tracks, as we see Aaron Smith making his way off pit road, you know, you want to try to spend the least amount of time on pit road under green as you possibly can because that is what's going to try to, you know, keep you up in that lead pack. But you have to take tires here with this type of racing. You obviously have to take 4 tires, you know, if you come to pit road after this many laps. And it's worked out pretty well for Aaron Smith. He's right there on Scotty Sobczak's rear bumper, and Sobczak has 1 lap on his tires over Aaron Smith. So a really good job for Smith right here. But there's some drivers that are in front of them that also have come to pit road. Johnny Rapp came to pit road a few laps earlier than Sobczak and Smith. So some drivers have maybe done the track position game here, and Smith and Sobczak are going to have to try to work their way through these guys.
Yeah, speaking of track position, Chris, 89, Derek PK running in 4th position right now as we watch the eventual leader cycle around. Shout out to that 89 who stuck around through this green flag pit stop. He's had a clean race. He's a slingshot newcomer. He's run some Mazda races with us in the Spring Classic earlier this spring. But, man, that's a good-looking paint scheme. It's a Geography Alliance paint scheme, I believe. I know it's got something to do with geography. I know his partner in the chat can let us know. I think there's a connection with geography there. I'm a human geography teacher, so I appreciate what's going on in that 89, and that pink number really pops on the top of it. But great run going right now for Derek PK. Slots into the 3rd position. And in the chat, they're saying he's hitting his chips. He is going all in here, pushing his chips in, waiting for a caution. The longer you can stay out, do you think there's a number he can get to that we see a caution come out and everyone else behind him hits again? Or is that a within the realm of possibility here? Is that what that 89 is hoping for?
I think it's what he's hoping for, but I think that, you know, this soon, I don't know if the guys would come back in or not right now. They might hold on to that set thinking that we'd have another caution. If we did have a restart, I guarantee you we would be in a situation where cautions breed cautions, where we'd start having a lot more of them. We got a battle going on right here between some people who were our leaders before. Oh, Aaron Smith's going to get boxed in right here behind Gabe Rogers.
Oh, Justin Wilson.
Yeah, he
pushes the issue down into 3.
He smells blood in the water right here. An opportunity to maybe get around. Some contact in the wall.
Off of turn 4, the arrow push puts the champion in the wall. Aaron Smith going to have a big old donut on that right side, 2x2. This is what we think will be the eventual battle for the lead here in a number of laps once everyone has come in. And I believe we talked about track position. Evan Pienton, Rye Jones, as well as Sean Johnson, Johnny Rapp, and Josh Ward all have a leg up because they came a little bit earlier, but they're going to have to pay the piper at some point, Chris. And these have been the cars running up in the top 5 all day long. You mentioned Justin Wilson smelling blood in the water, Chris. Here they come. They're coming up in this big pack of leaders. How patient is Braxton DeWeese with what's going on in front of him? He's going to be the driver boxed in right now. Aaron Smith in the 70 is going to cut through this traffic like butter knife through butter. Justin Wilson, he thinks about it headed down the back stretch. He's going to think better. And Evan Pienton, Sean Johnson, Patrick Pieper, they all slow down on that upper line, and Braxton DeWeese has got to be shaking his head right now, losing 3 or 4 positions here in a matter of 2 laps to these cars that are just a little bit slower on older tires, Chris.
Yeah, but he's going to be okay right here. He just got to get through them, maintain contact right here. You know, if you're these drivers right here, like Patrick Pieper, Evan Pienta, Sean Johnson, I think you just want to latch on to this group, maybe and just see if you can hang with them. If you can hang with them, you've gained some track position. I think you'll be okay. Johnny Rapp up in front of them and Rye Jones, they're also on a little bit older tires. I don't think it's as huge of a difference with them. Rapp looks like he came to pit road about 5 laps before, say, like Wilson and Sobzak and some of these guys. So I think they just want to hold on here, see if they can hold on to these fast guys.
Yeah, there's going to be a crossover point, right, where those fresh tires that are 5 laps fresher, they don't make as much of a difference. They're not going to be as noticeable. We talked about that being somewhere maybe around lap 10 to 15 or so. If you're Rapp, you're looking to hold on for maybe 3 or 4 more laps to hit that crossover point where the difference in tires is negligible. But hey, they couldn't hold off Aaron Smith and Justin Wilson. The 70 and the 58, 2 slingshot champions are off to the races, Chris. Within that shot right now, as they come off of turn number 2, there are 4 slingshot champions in those 5 positions, with Smith following back all the way to Rapp in 8th, Chris. So that shows you the cream is rising to the top here, but the top of the scoring pylon right now is the 9 of Patrick Colby, who is on 77 lap or 62 lap old tires, Chris. He has got to be feeling it in that 9. He's got Chase Berry breathing down his neck as they cross the line here to start lap number 78. Patrick Colby having a good run. We've seen him win some slingshot races before, but he's open for a caution right now if he's the driver of that number 9, I would imagine.
He is. He's hoping for a caution, and it would put everybody in a really difficult spot, because do you come and get your final set of tires then, or do you try to hold on to them as Chase Berry closes up on his rear bumper right here? So yeah, they're going to try to run as long as they can. They've made their bed. Now they got to lie in it, and I think that they're getting closer. The pace slows way down, so it's hard to say like how long they can go. We see Derek Piquet right here. He is also still yet to come to pit road. He is getting out of the way of these fast guys right here and letting them go right on by.
Yeah, and right now Chase Berry closes up within about a car length down the back stretch of that 9 of Patrick Colby. He smells blood in the water. Colby was about half a tenth slower that time by. Chase Berry going to try to take advantage of it. He's got to deal with that arrow wash. It pushes him up the track.
Yeah, he got tight.
And he can't do anything with it. That 46 is tight. They're going to have Matt Scherf on fresh Goodyear coming through here, who's going to have to slice his way through the field. They're going to have to worry about that, but they're also going to have to worry about each other, Chris. These are the final 2 cars to come to pit road. They're looking like they're going to be a couple of laps out. Chris, I don't think they've got more than 5 laps left in those tanks of fuel, so we're going to be seeing those the 9 and the 46 any lap here as Aaron Smith continues to close in, bringing Justin Wilson, Braxton DeWeese, Scotty Sobzak, and here comes the 9, Chris. The 46 is going to roll the dice. He's going to stay out another lap. What's the benefit of staying out just one more lap if you're the 46 here?
You get a point for leading the lap.
Absolutely.
And maybe just this extra lap right here, maybe he can, get a caution on this lap right here. Yeah, getting the point for leading a lap is important, especially, with as few races we have in the summer season, only 8 races. Try to get as many of those bonus points as you can. But, we'll be seeing him on pit road any lap now.
Hey, man, Chris, in the chat, they're talking about, is it just a night race? Is it just me, or do these cars really pop under the lights? I could not agree more. These are some of the best paint schemes we've seen in a slingshot racing field in our 7 seasons. And guess who a lot of them are painted by? Evan Pienta Designs, the guy carrying that heart rate monitor up on the board right now, who's also running in the 11th position in that number 55. But, Chris, this battle for the lead right now is just about as sharp as those paint schemes. They come up on Steve Vest, who's getting ready to go another lap down here in the number 6. It's maybe going to serve as a pick for Justin Wilson. Look at the run. Wilson gets down into 3. He's going to try to get to the outside of the 70 of Aaron Smith. He pushes up the track. It's going to have to wait at least another lap. He made a great attempt at it, Chris. Yeah. But again, you saw that car continue to wash further and up the track, and it's unfortunately going to put him back into the clutches of the number 5 of Braxton DeWeese, who's going to seize the moment. He's going to slip into second place, Chris. That number 5, I'm seeing some slower lap times, which makes me wonder, is the 5 holding back with just about 34 laps left in the CDJR 175 tonight from Boone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram? Is that 5 saving tires a little bit, maybe better than the 70 of Aaron Smith?
It's definitely a possibility. Only he knows that. Aaron Smith up here at the front, he's got clean air on his nose, so sometimes when you are the leader, you feel like, in this type of racing right here, you can drive a little bit harder. As we see Chase Berry. All right, now, so we're going to get a good gauge right here. Chase Berry just came off pit road right here. He was your race leader, but he is going to have fresh tires, and look how he's just able to power around the outside of Aaron Smith. That's the difference right there between fresh tires and old tires here, with Aaron Smith having just 18 laps on his tires right there. That's the difference. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching Braxton DeWeese here and seeing if he can make up some ground on Aaron Smith on this run right here. Look how he hooks. This is a point I wanted to bring up earlier. I saw some drivers doing this earlier. Look how Braxton DeWeese sort of hooks that paint down there, that blue and white line down in turns 1 and 2. See if he does it down here in 3 and 4. This ends a little bit different. Scotty Sobczak's going to do it. It's like Braxton DeWeese doing it as well. If you hook that left front down there on that paint, and you have to be very precise when you do it, it can help turn that car. That's one thing that I experienced on Sunday night in the practice race was, felt like it could, you see Aaron Smith doing it down here in 1 and 2, Braxton DeWeese doing it as well. It really helps to turn that car, especially at this point in the run when it feels like, you're starting to lose that right front tire.
Yeah, starting to lose the right front tire. I think that is a statement a lot of drivers are probably making right now, Chris. Hey, wanted to do a quick shout out to the driver of the number 23 car, Eric Lagasse, who's in 20th position. He's moved up 12 positions on the evening, sitting in 20th position right now in that 23 DoorDash car. He is having a great run after starting in the 32nd position. Eric, that driver out of, I'm just looking at my my little timing sheet here, Massachusetts. Actually, no, Wisconsin. Close enough. 2 northern states. I'm a geography teacher. I know there. One's in the Midwest, one's in New England. But right now, the driver of the 23 having a good run as he gets passed by Matt Scherf, who is a lap down after an earlier incident. But great job for the driver of the number 23 tonight. Chris, I want to take it to a break one last time. You mentioned gauges, and that reminded me that we've got a brand new partner who's helping us give away a unique product this season, a digital circular gauge for your sim racing rig. We'll hear from Boone, CDJR, and DSS, and that will be the last break of the race, and we'll bring you the rest of the race. Green flag all the way. Enjoy this side-by-side. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey guys, it's Josh Ward with Ram Commercial, and this season we're partnering with Slingshot Racing League to make sure our members can get wholesale manufacturer pricing on any Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram you choose. Whether you're just looking for a vehicle for your family or for your business.
All right, yellow flag is out, Chris. As soon as we went to caution, I'm not sure. It looked like it might have been the 44 of Patrick O'Toole, who looks like he got squared up off of turn 4, maybe? I'm not sure quite what happened.
We're going to go back and see if we can figure out what... Oh, yeah, we're missed it by just a little bit right here. Oh yeah, he just came out of the pits here. We're gonna see if we can see this maybe from overhead. Now, it looks like he came out of the pits right here, and I think he's trying to merge, and Patrick Pieper, unfortunately, is coming right here, and yeah, that's, yeah, I guess that O'Toole just never saw him out there, but, yeah, as the driver coming out of the pits right there, you want to try to stay low and, you know, maybe not merge up into that traffic right there, but, you know, first race of the season.
Nick DeCesare makes it by, though. Great save by DeCesare. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and, you know, first race of the season, you know, sometimes, you know, these mistakes can occur. Here, we'll look at Nick DeCesare. Yeah, we'll actually ride on board with Nick, because this looks like it's going to be entertaining.
And we're going to have some live green flag pit stop potentially coming up. Drivers on 23 to 31 lap old tires. I think we're going to see everyone come in here. But, yeah, this is quite the view.
And we do have all of our drivers on pit road right here, led by our leader, Aaron Smith.
And we'll see how much track position is going to matter watching the battle on pit road here, presented by Pierce Graphics. Seeing who comes out in the lead. That's going to play a critical role, Chris. We're going to get this thing started with about 23 to 24 laps left. Good old Saturday night showdown style action here, Chris. This is going to be interesting.
It is, and we'll see Justin Wilson's already underway right here. Aaron Smith, we're going to see, watch that line right there.
Oh.
There goes Wilson. There goes Smith. I think Smith is going to win the race off pit road.
It's going to be Smith, Wilson, DeWeese, and Sobczak. Chris, that first pit stall played a critical role in getting Aaron Smith off in the lead. All he had to do was roll a couple of feet off of his pit stall and cross that line. We're going to reset them. It's going to be Smith, Wilson, DeWeese, and Sobczak are your top four. I believe Jones and Ward came off 5th and 6th. And Chris, while we have the moment, let's go ahead and finish that ad break we were in the middle of, and we'll bring it back for the rest of the race. Green flag all the way. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Just 25 laps left here. Actually, 26 laps left here from Charlotte. We'll be back on the other end of the break.
Hey guys, it's Josh Ward, Brand Commercial, and this season we're partnering with Slingshot Racing League to make sure our members can get wholesale manufacturer pricing on any Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram you choose. Whether you're just looking for a vehicle for your family or for your business, we've got you covered. Contact me directly to see how we can help.
We are live from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Slingshot Racing League season opener for the Apex Energy Summer Series presented by Boone CDJR. Chris, re-racking them here after a caution on lap number 90. We've got Nick DeCesare and Patrick Colby, who have not taken tires on that last pit stop, followed by Chase Berry. All three of those drivers are on older Goodyear rubber. They're going to have Aaron Smith, Justin Wilson, Braxton DeWeese, and Scotty Sobczak all on fresh tires, and that is going to be an interesting scenario to follow. They were hoping for the caution. They got it. They've got the track position. Now, what's the danger in some of these cars on older tires out in front on this restart?
Well, you see right there, we've got the current stint numbers right there, and Nick DeCesare, I think, is probably the one that I'm most worried about because that is a lot of laps compared to, you know, his counterparts right there who also stayed out, Colby and Barry. But yeah, I think the biggest danger is the closing rate is just going to be so huge. The differences in speed is going to be huge right here, as I think the field is going to get the one to go here. And they are, I think Steve Best has got to drive around the pace car right here to get back onto the lead lap. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, 6 is going to have to go by the pace car here in a moment. I'm not sure if he hasn't been released. Race control probably working to communicate. There he goes. The driver number 6 is going to go around, catch the back of the field. DeCesare, Colby, and Barry, Chris, are going to be the ones to watch on this restart. We mentioned it earlier before we had a caution, but cautions tend to breed cautions. So just the second caution of the night on lap number 90 is going to give us a restart here with about 24 laps to go. All gloves are coming off here, Chris. This is a Saturday night style restart. Evan Pienta's heart rate right now, top right of the screen. It's at 98. I suspect we're going to see it climb here in the next couple of laps here as we buckle in for a restart. Right now, Chris, still 34 cars on the track after 38 starting tonight in the season opener. This is going to be a wild one, everyone. Buckle up. Let us know who you think's going to win. Are we going to have another caution before this thing is over? Let us know in the chat. We're going to pick a fan to win a 1/64th scale diecast here in just a moment. But we've got other business to attend to as the pace car peels off. It's going to be DeCesare and Colby who lead them down. They're going to wait to hit that Geico restart zone. DeCesare mashes the throttle. Everyone gets going for the most part. Colby a little bit slow on the draw on that restart on those older tires. He's careful not to spin them. He's got Aaron Smith and Braxton Deweese breathing down his neck. Chase Berry with not much competition behind him. Justin Wilson about 2 cars back. Deweese makes an aggressive move on Justin Wilson. He's going to take it 3 wide as they head down into turn 3. He cycles back into 5th position behind Justin Wilson.
Oh my gosh. Wilson up the middle.
He takes it 3 wide, trying to go 4 wide now. Wilson underneath Smith. They've got Colby on older tires in front of them. How patient will Justin Wilson be on this lap 95 restart? It is getting crazy here in Charlotte for Slingshot Racing League. Justin Wilson with some crazy aggressive moves. And you saw it, Chris. He probably figured he's not going to have many chances against Aaron Smith in the number 70. He loses a little bit of ground there through turns 1 and 2.
And when you see Nick DeCesare right here stuck in the middle, our drivers that were on old tires, they did a really nice job. I think they did about as good. Oh, DeCesare in the wall with Sean Johnson.
DeCesare in the 32 in the wall. We are still under green flag conditions here. Can everyone gather it up? It looks like they do. We're still clean and green on lap number 96. Just 21 laps to go here from Charlotte. Meanwhile, back up front, Aaron Smith is your leader. He's got Rye Jones, Johnny Rapp, and Slingshot champion Justin Wilson in tow. Jones, Chris, is showing a lot of speed here. He's up 33 positions on the night, started tail into the field. He's looking to see the front of that racetrack and the front of the pack right now. But Johnny Rapp, that regular racing, number 52, gets a heap of momentum down the back stretch. He's going to try to channel it into a pass for the lead. To no avail, Aaron Smith's going to lead this lap. Wow, Chris, I don't think we're done wrecking tonight.
I don't think that we are. It is really crazy back here around the 10th position.
Rapp for the lead here up front with just 19 laps to go. Rapp switches to the inside. He's going to see if he can make it work here. He's got to deal with Rye Jones now, Chris. It looks like anyone who wants to kind of bump their way out and make a pass, if they can't make the pass, they're going to pay the price.
Oh, Rye Jones gets turned.
He collects Rapp, Kyle Ryan, Braxton Deweese, Colby Zala. 12, 13 cars crash across the start-finish line here on lap number 99. Car on its roof. Carnage as they cross the line.
Man, that was insane. I think that started with some contact between Rye Jones and Justin Wilson off of turn 4.
See if we can take a look at what happened. Return to the scene of the crime. Rye Jones running the top 5, Chris. Not sure if Justin Wilson maybe got a little bit of that left rear quarter panel for Rye Jones.
Yeah, we're looking at him coming from overhead right here. Yeah, and some contact. I think that maybe Justin Wilson was eager to push. Rye Jones, and man, that creates just a huge mess. We're going to go back right here. It's kind of hard for me to go through it here because the field has been just so jumbled up right here. But I want to look at, I think, Braxton Deweese.
Johnny Rapp about made it through that. That was a unfortunate position for Rapp in the 52. But you mentioned Deweese, a former Slingshot champion in this as well. That was the car on its roof here on lap 100. My goodness, the carnage of that 5 rolling over. Fortunately, He gets it back on its four wheels. Safety crew is going to be able to get to Braxton a little bit easier. We see the number 99 of Ryan Hinkle, the number 3 of Rob Hattenbach, also involved in this crash. Chris, you mentioned it. Cautions breed cautions. Trying to see a couple questions about whether drivers made it through. Looking to see if Derek Fike made it through. I think, Courtney, he did make it through in that number 89. He's limping his way. I don't know if he's limping his way down pit road or just came to get some new tires and fuel, but he's sitting in the 16th position right now. So, but watching some of the replays, Chris, those were some hard hits by these drivers. Aaron Smith, Rye Jones, Evan Pienta, Justin Wilson, Scotty Sobczak, those are your top 5. And 2 of those cars involved, Chris, Rye Jones and Justin Wilson. I'm curious how the 3 made it through that.
Yeah, I don't know if they all made it through clean. I just now noticing Josh Ward looks like he took a heck of a ride right here as well, getting through that. But it's a little bit hard to go through here and see like every single one of the drivers. Here's Josh Ward. He's unfortunately backwards on the front stretch right here in that Boone machine.
A couple of cars went off-road racing, including the 15 of Patrick Pieper and the 88 of James Danforth. One car had its hood blown up into its windshield. Visibility is low tonight at Charlotte for several of these drivers as caution is out here on lap 101 of 117 in the Boone CDJR 175, the race 1 of the Apex Energy summer season here, Chris. Whoa, man, we're going to have to hit the reset button after this. I think we need to take some deep breaths as to what we're going to see here on the final 15-lap shootout or so. A lot of cars in contention taken out in that, what some of our fans in the chat, including Don Hilbrans and Mark Fike, classified as the big one here on lap number about lap 99 is when that caution came out. So
yeah, we saw James Danforth right there. We were riding on board with him as he followed Patrick Pieper. We talked about that infield being AstroTurf through there. That's it kind of makes it a little bit easier. But you saw them; they were bouncing through that infield trying to get through, and they both made it through.
They were bouncing indeed, and man, I don't know how much damage that does to the suspension or undercarriage of these cars on iRacing. I imagine I know I've had some front end damage after clipping some of those grass bumps through an infield, but. Ooh, boy, let's re-rack them here. Lap 101, coming to 102. Aaron Smith is scored as your leader. Rye Jones, technically the car that brought that out with the help of Justin Wilson, is going to be scored in second. That was a great ride. Rye Jones took Chris through the infield. He was sideways, but he got it gathered up through that final chicane of the Roval coming to the start-finish line, and basically all the carnage unfolded behind him. Try to take a look at that rear-view mirror cam later on tonight. I'm sure there's some great views out of that, but Pienta's going to be third. Going to keep an eye on that heart rate pulse monitor, that pulse check provided by Apex Energy up at the top right hand of the screen. He's going to be starting third, and I'm sure that's going to get a little bit higher before this thing is over. Scotty Sobczak looking for first one in a while, Chris. We haven't seen that 81 in victory lane in quite a minute. So Scotty Sobczak hungry for a win. Jacob Zala has stuck around in the 20th position. Good run tonight. Patrick Pieper got the hot dog mobile up into 6th position. James Danforth is hard charging all the way up to 7th position. Sam Stoner going to be 8th in the 65. Dan Berg, good run going for Berg in the 1 tonight. And then Matt Kuntz is in 10th in that number 13 Taylor Swift mobile tonight, Chris.
Yeah, riding on board right here with Rye Jones. I wanted to go back and look at this. And Rye Jones, he's hooked right here in the left rear by Justin Wilson. Turned down into Johnny Rapp, unfortunately. And he's able to straighten it out. And the computer scored him in his position at the time of caution as in second. So Jacob Zala is the one that you see with the hood. I'm not sure if that's a glitch. I know he's got some front end damage, but I don't think it's as serious as what you saw right there in that image.
No, I think you're right. He looks to be rocking and rolling still, sitting in the 5th position in contention for the win. Hey, speaking of winning, Chris, we got to give away this diecast, this Ford Motorcraft diecast, to one of our fans here in the chat who has joined us. Just running the random draw here, and your winner tonight Darren Adams. If you are watching Darren Adams, I'm going to put our email address in the chat. You can send us an email letting us know you won, and I will get that diecast out to you to the address of your choice, ssracingleagues@gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in, Darren. Let us know who to send it to. And, hey, we're giving away one of those every week. Different diecasts got a large variety to give away. So, hey, if you didn't win tonight, there's going to be 7 more chances over the course of the season. Stick around. Make sure you subscribe to Slingshot Racing's YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button and also give us a thumbs up. Give us a like if you like what you're seeing tonight. Doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us get your drivers in front of more eyes every night. Speaking of eyes, they're getting real big right now for some of these drivers, Chris. We're going to have Aaron Smith electing to go to the inside here on this restart. He's going to have to deal with a feisty Rye Jones, who started 33rd, shotgun on the field, tail end of the field tonight. Pace car peels off. We're getting ready to go green with just 13 laps remaining. Smith mashes that throttle. He gets away. He's going to bring Evan Pienta with him to the inside. It's going to be a battle between Pienta on the inside and Rye Jones on the outside. See how these drivers tackle turns 1 and 2. It's a dogfight with Scotty Sobczak in tow of Rye Jones on the outside. They're neck and neck. Will Arrow push? Wash the 55 up. Jones is going to get away cleanly, but right now Aaron Smith has got clean track in front of him, but he sees the 91 getting bigger in his rear view mirror. Going to be keeping an eye on the rest of the field here. 4 wide. Chase Berry slices through the 23 of 52 further back in the field. Drivers, Chris, making some aggressive moves in the
He's on fresh tires
of this race. He's on fresh tires. Go ahead.
He's on fresh tires, and he's got a shot right here if he can get through these guys. And we've been seeing him be really, really patient all night long. And right now it's time to go, and we're seeing him be really aggressive.
Yeah, how patient can you be, though, Chris, with just 13 laps, coming to 12 laps? He might have to jump to the inside to get something going here. He looks to get by Sam Stoner. This is a battle going on for the 12th position. He is getting feisty, goes under Zala. He's got his teammate Johnny Rapp not too far in front of him. Rapp slides up the track. It opens a door for the 46 of Barry, who easily fills it with those fresh tires. Barry is now up to 11th, now 10th position, Chris. He's got just 11 laps left if he's going to do anything. Rye Jones back up front, keeps about 3 car length margin behind Aaron Smith, who is your leader. It's a little bit more than 3 back to Scotty Sobczak. And then you've got Patrick Pieper, Chris, who's worked his way up to the 4th position. He is on fresh tires as well. Actually, not as fresh tires as Chase Berry. All of these drivers on 16-lap-old tires. Rye Jones got a little bit left in him, it looks like, Chris.
Yeah, he does. He's not letting Aaron Smith get away, and we haven't really seen anybody get away all night long. It's James Danforth trying to squeeze it to the outside of Patrick Pieper.
So close there between the 88 and the 15. Danforth looking to work his way up to
some
the 4th
contact.
position. Contact between the 88 and the 15. Just 9 laps left here from Charlotte. It is getting intense here in the season opener for Slingshot Racing League. Chris, Aaron Smith, and Rye Jones. It's about a car length. The 91 is closing on the number 70. Can Rye Jones pull off a comeback here all the way from the back of the field at the start of this race to the win? Just 9, now 8 laps left, and we're going to find out. But I'm seeing that neon green 46 machine, Chris. He's running the fastest lap times. I'm talking about Chase Berry running a 29.7 compared to a 32 from the leader, Aaron Smith, Chris. He makes an aggressive move, 3 wide underneath Dan Berg and Evan Pienta. That 46, Chris, if he can pull off that pass here, we might be talking about a duel between the 70 and the 46 before this thing ends tonight.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of
for the lead. Jones to the inside here. Aaron Smith, who looks to be invincible last season, is going to have to deal with the number 91 before he walks away with this win tonight. Rye Jones not making it easy on the 70. Who has saved their tires the most here? 19 laps on each set. Aaron Smith to the inside. Rye Jones elects to stay up top. Chris, they bought Scotty Sobczak back with them.
3 wide behind them.
3 wide.
Danforth in the wall.
To the wall. He gathers it back up. Chase Berry in the 4th position. My goodness. I'm going to try to save my voice, Chris.
Yeah, you need to.
10 laps here because we're going to have a barn burner here in Charlotte. Rye Jones to the back bumper of the 70 of Aaron Smith. The 91 pushes the 70 into the corner. He is lunging at the back bumper of that 70. He's got to be careful, Chris. Close racing between the 70 and the 91. Chase Berry is there, Chris, in the 46. Fresh tires on the 46. Is he going to make 3 wide? Is he going to pop into third? Rye Jones keeps in the middle of the track. Chase Berry for second place. I cannot believe my eyes.
I just didn't think it would happen. I just didn't think that he would get the time that he needed, but that caution just worked out perfectly for him. He is flying up through this field.
He is flying up through the field. I'm sensing he's maybe calculating his moves a little bit more here, Chris. With just 5 laps left here from Charlotte, he moves to the inside. Chase Berry up 12 positions since the restart just 7 laps ago. Looks to slide in. He's not clear yet. He's going to have to stay low, headed down into turn 3. Will he have the momentum to carry him to second place and then set his sights on Aaron Smith?
He's got it.
He does. That 46, Chris, he is moving. He has to lift out the throttle there. Rye Jones to the back of the 46 who saves it. Wow.
Yeah, he's trying to get him going right there. He lost a little bit of momentum off turn 4. Rye Jones gives him a good shot right here. A lot of momentum down that front stretch, and now he's all over the rear bumper of Aaron Smith. Now you're at the point right here where Chase Berry, you just got to go where he isn't. If he runs high, you got to go low. It's going to be a guessing game.
It is going to be a guessing game, Chris. We set it up in the pre-race. Aero blocking is going to be big here. Chase Berry inside of Aaron Smith. He's going to lead that lap at the line. 3 laps left here from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the season opener for Slingshot Racing League. Chris, Aaron Smith's not letting him get away.
Oh, some contact.
Berry washes up. Contact between the 46 and the 70. That allows Jones and Sobczak to slip back into it here. Chris, are the fresh tires wearing off on the 46? Do you think he's got something left?
He's had to go up through this traffic right here, and that has hurt him a little bit. That's going to heat those tires up. He still has an advantage, though, even with coming up through the field like that. The advantage is not as huge because they didn't run as many laps under green before, but he's still got a shot right here if he can regroup.
2 laps to go, now a lap and a half. Berry gathers it up. He's got 4 more shots at this, Chris, if he's going to have anything for defending Slingshot champion Aaron Smith. You mentioned it, go where he doesn't. Berry to the top of the track, Smith on the bottom. Berry's got Rye Jones to worry about, who's going to give him a push off the corner. White flag, he's got a few more chances left. He's got a big run going down into 1, though. He lunges to the back bumper of the 70. It's the 70 of Smith who leads Chase Berry off of turn 2. Berry's going to have to do something remarkable if he's going to have anything for the 70. Smith ducks down a little bit. Will Berry dive it into the corner? He does his best. Now it's a battle for third between Sobczak and Jones. Aaron Smith out of South Carolina is going to be your winner tonight from Charlotte. Berry second. Jones got Sobczak at the line for third. Wow, what a great race here at Charlotte. I thought Berry had it, but man, talk about tenacity. Aaron Smith showed why he's a Slingshot champion. He holds on to win the season opener. He looked like he isn't as invincible as we've seen him look in the past, Chris. Aaron Smith showing that there is room for someone else to move into that championship contender spotlight. Berry almost did it tonight. Great race, everybody. Wow. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to hear from the top 3 drivers here in a moment. Chris, I'm going to let you fill for a second while I take a swig of water.
Yeah, you're going to need it. And for Aaron Smith, this is a return to form. As you saw last season, Aaron Smith, our defending champion from this past season in the trucks, our spring champion. So Victory Lane is a place that we've seen him in often right here, as he was able to hold off Chase Berry on those new tires against all odds there at the end. He's going to be tough to beat all season long, and if the action is like this all season long, Ellis, you're going to have to look after them vocal cords. That's all I'm going to say.
Man, they're going to get stronger all season. I'm just going to start doing vocal warm-ups and practice and all that. These chords are going to be going. Speaking of going, that number 91 was moving through the field, and he had some speed at the end of the race. I'm talking about driver number 91, Rye Jones. I'm going to pull him into the booth here. Hey, Rye Jones, driver the number 91. This is the boys in the booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. You were going at the end of that race. You started tail into the field. You had a tall task. I know you wanted to walk away with that win tonight. Walk us through kind of the strategy that you felt was responsible for getting you in the position where you could contend for that win in the final stretch there.
Well, before I say anything, I really need to say sorry to you guys. I really was thinking about this if I got the podium. You guys put on a great show for the league, and it's my fault that I started dead last, and you guys deserve better than that. And I'm going to be better from here on that.
Water under the bridge, my friend. You deserve to talk about why you were so fast tonight. Get us there. What was going on inside that car?
I knew starting last, I was going to have to take care of my stuff as much as possible. And, I was able to figure out where it was to pass. And in the middle of that first run, things were getting pretty antsy. We were going pretty crazy, and I made contact with somebody. I'm not even quite sure who it was, but it was just close racing, and I ended up getting loose and saved it, but it set me back about 6-7 positions, so I fell back out like to 11th or 12th. And so I was like, instead of pitting later, like with Aaron and Justin and them, I was going to pit just like halfway. So that's what I ended up doing. And it prevailed to get me actually kind of closer to the top 5. I was about 6th after that and was just maintaining. And I would have been happy with that. And then, caution came out, and we all got bunched back together. We were running about, 20, 30, about like 30 laps on that last run or so, or what would have been if there wasn't more caution. So had to pit, take the last set of tires, and just try and hold on for dear life. And me and Justin, we were working real hard because he started in the back too, from a bad qualifying run. And we were really trying to work together there. And coming out of 4, he was going to give me a push, and it was just a really bad angle, and he feels awful. But I don't know how in the world I saved that, but did, and was able to maintain my position. And I knew I had a shot against Aaron, but man, he's really good at running the racetrack wide. And when you can do that, it's really hard to pass. And I got to give credit to Chase. He played the wrong run game and saved an extra set of tires on that last run. And when he was able to get by me, I was like, all right, let's try and do it. I'll push you, man, and we'll see if we can get him. But overall, we were finished 2nd and 3rd.
Hey, man, well, great job. Good finish tonight. We'll let you go celebrate that 3rd-place finish with your teammates. Rye Jones, 3rd-place finisher tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, I'll let you take it away with our 2nd-place finisher, Chase Berry.
Chase Berry, our 2nd-place finisher. This is a Slingshot booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Man, what's up, man? That was awesome. We were watching you that whole first run, sort of like trailing the pack a little bit, and I was, I told Ellis, like, I think that Chase holding on to a little something right here, trailing the pack right here, and we saw you at the end of that first stint right there, before everybody had made their pit stop. We saw you flying up through the field, and then you kind of made the little strategy call that we see you make often right here, and it almost paid off for you right there. Talk to us about that final restart and how you had to charge up through the field there.
Yeah, I was just hauling the mail, and it was all right. It was fun. I mean, but as soon as I got to Aaron, I had one shot. That was like two to go before my tire was gone. But as soon as I couldn't get around him on the bottom, like I know the high side for me was like with fresh. I was like, all right, let's use the high side. That's what Justin told me, and get a run. But he was just his arc and stuff. I couldn't do nothing on the high side without getting tight. So if I was gonna do something, had to make it work on the bottom, and it just couldn't complete the pass, and that's took my 2nd.
Yeah, was that arrow push as intense as it looked all night? Was it just as debilitating to any type of run that you can make all night, like it appeared there at the end?
Yeah, I would say so. Like it was definitely like it was wild, like especially on old tires. Like I said, I didn't pit until like lap 80, like on that long run, and we like all the lap guys, like they would fresh tires, they would come and just like I mean they'd run their line and stuff and would side draft you in the middle of the corner. But when they do that and pull you off on the exit, they would like your whole entire car would just slide and it'd be tight. I was like, oh my gosh. So I think I burnt more tires trying not to hit the people on fresh tires, like just riding close to you and stuff like that. But yeah, it was definitely like you get behind somebody, it's just tight, tight, tight.
Well, hey, man, you made it work. You made the right call at the end. You proved people wrong that maybe were doubting you, and you come away with a second-place finish tonight. Great way to start the season. Hey, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go celebrate this great run?
Yeah, I got a question. Who was doubting me? Was it you, Chris, or was it else?
I wasn't doubting you. I'm just saying, like, anybody in the chat, maybe,
See what happens?
I thought you had it.
Yeah, see what happens when you actually get a set of tires? It's kind of nice.
It was. You look good, man. You lied. Not to stomp into this interview, but you brought my name in, so I had to answer.
Hell yeah! But I want to thank you guys for putting on, enjoying a fun league and all that good stuff. Justin for wrecking the field. I know he's excited about that one. He's sorry for everybody. Ryan for helping me out at the end. Randy, good run for everybody. And it was kind of fun, you guys. It was fun. On to next week where we actually go to a better track because Mile High sucked for me.
Well, hey, we had a lot of fun watching you, and congratulations, bud. Great run tonight. We're going to be looking forward to seeing you next week out in Auto Club. That's Chase Berry, second-place finisher. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring in that race winner, Mr. Aaron Smith. Hey, driver number 70, Aaron Smith. You are the winner tonight. Congratulations, my friend. Wow, you put on quite the show. We never doubted that you had it in the bag, right, the entire time. I know you never doubted yourself, but walk us through, man. Those final 15 laps, we thought your tires were cooked, and Chase Berry had the ultimate advantage. What in the world? Where did you pull from to hold off that hard-charging 46 and the 91 before that in the final laps?
Yeah, it was all on that second to last restart. I had to push as hard as I could to get past all those cars. I saw Justin chuck it 3 wide below me there. I had to get around my teammate and push Patrick on the restart and try to get him up ahead. But yeah, the clean air is so valuable in these cars. Like I was dumping air on everybody's noses every chance I had, and that could be part of the reason why they wrecked there in that last caution. But it was a great race all around, and I'm glad I was able to pull it out.
Man, you pulled a rabbit out of your hat there, those final laps. Did the car handle the way you pretty much assumed it would with the aero push and stuff throughout the race as the tires got older?
Well, in that first run, when we got all the way to the green flag pit stops, I felt the car turning a lot more than I thought it would when I got stuck behind Scotty there. When he had a bit of a tire advantage on me because he was sitting there almost the entire run. So I wanted to kind of get a gauge on that before the real race started, and I was able to rotate a lot better than I thought I would. Like the middle was pretty good, but once you get over that seam, it becomes a little difficult, especially if the guy ahead of you like arcs out on entry. So fortunately, we avoided that.
Well, you're headed to a different track next week. Much bigger track, different ball game at Auto Club Speedway. What are you looking for out of that racetrack? How's it going to compare to what we've seen tonight, racing-wise, in your opinion?
I feel like the agenda is going to be the same, especially for the guys at the front. But we'll have to see. It's been a while since I've raced these cars on a track as wide as Auto Club, so it'll definitely be interesting.
Cool, man. We'll let you get out of here. You got any shout-outs before we let you go?
Well, I didn't write my cue card down with all the league sponsors, so I'll get that together for next week when I inevitably finish on the top 3. So I'll get back to you on that one. But I'd like to thank all the folks for watching and Ollie out the Slingshot Racing League for having me again this season. I know I said I was going to take a step back this time around, and I rode off into the sunset with my championship, but I left the stove on and I have to come back and win this Summer Series championship because I still don't have one yet. So we're going for it.
That is very true. You're looking for that classic tire trophy from UD Awards that we're giving away to our champion. Hey, we'll mention those track tutorial videos you put out every single week for these Gen 6 cars and have done so in the past for us for other vehicles and other tracks as well. People can check those out on our YouTube channel, and they are a premium tool that are guaranteed. I'm not going to say guaranteed, but you're bound to get faster if you watch those short little 2-minute tutorials. We appreciate you doing that every week for us. So, man, go celebrate that victory with your teammates, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week at Auto Club.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, man, this race had everything. We weren't ever able to focus on every single driver over the course of the 117 laps of the evening, but let's go ahead and look through the finishing order for tonight as drivers wrapped up this race. Obviously, we've talked to the top three. Moving to fourth, Scotty Sobczak, Chris, he had speed all night, but he could never really cross that fourth place threshold. He finishes fourth. Randy Bechtel fights back to finish fifth. Much of the race, he has a lot of speed at the end of the race, finishes fifth. James Danforth, hard charger. He is going for that ward again, Chris, by gaining the most positions on average every single race. Moved up 18 positions from starting 24th tonight. Steve McDonald, he's back, and he is strong in that number 42 car finishes seventh tonight. Evan Pienta, his heart rate was up and down over the course of the evening. He brings it home eighth. Patrick Piper, good job bringing home a top 10 in that ninth position, followed by Justin Wilson, got in the back bumper of Rye Jones later on in the race and brought out that massive catastrophic caution. Finishes 10th. Chris, I'll let you run 11th through 20th.
Oh, and we're going to try to do 11. There we go, 11 through 23 here. Johnny Rapp, we saw him leading laps early in the race. Kind of fell back probably about, a quarter of the way through that first stint right there. Got on a little bit different strategy, coming to pit road a little bit early. He's going to bring it home 11th. Matt Kuntz in 12th. Dan Berg finishes in 13th. Kyle Ryan 14th. Eric, I'm sorry, we talked about this before. Is it Legacy?
We think it's Legacy.
Yeah, maybe.
He'll correct us when he watches.
Yeah, but he gained 17 spots up from the 32nd starting position. Great job for him tonight. Sam Stoner going to bring it home 16th. Derek Fike gaining a lot of positions as well. He had a lot of fans watching him tonight. He's going to bring it home 17th. Jacob Salza going to bring it home in the 18th position. Brandon Ayers in 19th. And Alberto Alvarez, I think he ran a little bit better than what his position shows right here. He's going to finish in the 20th position.
Yeah, he had a good run going in the top 15 and then slid back a little bit, but still moved up 5 positions. Ryan Hinkle, really a lot of speed tonight. Got involved in an earlier incident. Finishes 21st. Alex Harper in that number 10. Teammate of Patrick Pieper. Didn't have quite the speed that Patrick did tonight. I think he got involved. A lot of these cars we're looking at now, Chris, were involved in one of those 4 cautions we had in those 117 laps. Steve Vest, look at that. Finishes 23rd tonight in that number 6 car. Nick DeCesare finishes 24th in the 00. Patrick Colby, much stronger run Patrick had going tonight. Led on fuel strategy later on the race. He has to settle for 25th tonight. Matt Scherf, I know we had some Scherf fans watching the chat. He got caught up in a crash, finishes 26th. Josh Ward, who ran inside the top 5 most of the night, finishes 27th in that Boone CDJR car. He's probably going to run that thing again next week to get that higher up in the finishing order. Dale Mickelson finishes 28th. Gabe Rogers finishes 29th. Robert Hadback had a lot of speed. I saw him running in the top 13 most of the evening. Chris finishes 30th tonight. 31st was Braxton DeWeese. He ran inside the top 4, Chris, much of the evening.
Yeah.
Looked like it was going to be a promising night for that young driver, the number 5. He has to settle for 31st. Had the highlight of the night, though, by rolling over on that lap number 90 caution.
Yeah, he was fast all night long, and I hate to see him get that 31st place finish. He definitely deserved to finish higher than that, but unfortunately going to bring it home there. Sean Johnson, he was faster than his position shows as well. We saw that trouble that he had with Nick DeCesare when DeCesare was sliding back through the field on that restart. Paul Thomas going to bring home 33rd after his early troubles. Patrick O'Toole, we saw the crash with him on the backstretch right there. He's going to finish 34th. Landon, is it Cardulo?
Cardulo.
I got it right that time.
Cardulo. Yeah, good job.
36, Daniel Blow. Scott Tompkins going to bring it home in 37th. Logan Truitt, 38th. And then Richard Hurst is going to round out the field in the 39th position. Big field of drivers tonight, Ellis.
A very big field, almost full field. Hopefully we'll have the same number or more next week at Auto Club. And that track's going to hold a few more cars, Chris. Much wider, bigger banking. We are in for a great show. If you thought Charlotte was exciting tonight, Chris, I think we're on the edge of what's even going to be a better race next week at Auto Club. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a great show. And I think that at Auto Club, I don't want to, try to, guess how the racing is going to go. I think you're going to see some similar action to what you saw tonight. But then maybe these cars will separate from one another, and we might get spread out a little bit as it goes on. So I'm going to be really interested to see how that racing takes shape there.
Absolutely. Tune in for all the action next week, Tuesday night, same time, 8:30 Eastern time for race number 2 of the Apex Energy Summer Season presented by Boone CDJR. Everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. If you logged into the chat and said hi, we appreciate it. Darren Adams won the diecast tonight. We'll be giving away 7 more over the next 7 races, so stick around. Subscribe if you haven't already done so you'll be notified when those races go live and you don't miss a chance to win an 1/64th scale diecast. Also, if you didn't play the Apex Energy Flavor Fight this week, you can do so next week. Just pick your favorite flavor. Tell us what team of drivers, Team Grape or Team Ice Bomb, is going to perform better over the course of the race. That link is in the description of this video, and you could be entered in to win $50 at the end of the season for doing very little, to be quite honest, other than picking a favorite flavor. By the way, 2 new flavor releases for Apex Energy Drink came out this week, Grape and Ice Bomb, Chris. I've tasted both. Grape is the winner in my mind, but both are really good. And you know what? Just a brief second, I'll shill the product all day, but you ever had an energy drink that's giving you heart palpitations?
Oh, yeah.
Apex Energy does not do that. It gives you a sustained push to make it throughout your day. It's not a 10-minute pick-me-up and a 10-hour crash. It is sustained through the day, whether you're a gamer, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a mom or dad at home, just doing your best to make it out of each day alive. Check out apexenergydrink.com for all the details on how to get that. You can use code Slingshot10 to get 10% off as well. So, hey, no one got 10% off tonight in this race, though. It was a hard-fought night for all drivers over the course of these 117 laps here at Charlotte, Chris. It's been a great race. We cannot wait to see everyone back next week, Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith in the booth tonight for Slingshot Racing League. Until next week at Auto Club, have a great night, everybody.